So thank you guys for joining. My name is Ebony Williams, for those of you who don't know, and this is the first episode of What the Insurance. That's my title. I hope you guys like it. Episode one, I wanted to really just be an introduction. As I was kind of developing this idea and I was talking to my husband about it, he said, well, people probably should know who you are and why they should listen to you. So I thought I would take a moment to explain who I am and kind of my journey through insurance and how I've landed where I am today, and then explain why this is something that I'm so passionate about. So here we go. For those of you guys who don't know, I do have a bachelor's in business administration with a concentration in marketing. I went to University of Illinois. I have a master's in project management, and I am a licensed health and life insurance producer. I've had my license now for over 6 years. I do have a few years of experience working at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, and recently I came to join an insurance broker that I've now been at for almost 3 years. And so that's kind of my history and how I've landed in the world of insurance. So I want to back into this conversation, and I think some of you guys can relate to what we're going to talk about today. So growing up, I remember being covered by my dad's insurance. And I do remember every time my mom and I went to the doctor, she would tell them we had Humana HMO. So I knew we had Humana HMO, but I had no idea what HMO meant or who Humana was or why we had Humana HMO. I just knew we had Humana HMO. And then I turned 18, I hit the real world, and back then, you had to come off your parents' insurance at 18. So at 18, I went to college, and I didn't have insurance coverage except for my college insurance and my campus insurance, which came in handy, but that's all I had then. So I graduated from college and started my first big girl job, got a full-time job. I was super excited, and I was filling out the paperwork, and I remember looking down at the paperwork and thinking, I don't see Humana HMO on here. I don't see HMO at all. I don't know what these options mean or what any of this is about, but I'm just going to choose the one that is the least amount of money coming out of my paycheck. If that's been you, let me know. Hit the like button, comment below if that's been you. You don't know what plan option to choose. You just opt for the one that's going to be the cheapest coming out of your paycheck. That was me 7 years ago. And then I remember while working there, my dad called and said, hey, some laws passed and I can add you back to my insurance until you're 26 years old. I had no idea what that law was. Unbeknownst to me, it was the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare or ACA for short. I didn't know then how much that law was going to impact my life or my career in the future. I just knew I could be back on daddy's insurance until I was 26 years old. And so I left that job. I went back to school to get my master's, and I landed a job, a temporary position working at Blue Cross Blue Shield. And during that time, I was planning my wedding. I was in school full time, and I was so tired just dealing with everything that I didn't realize, wait a minute, I'm turning 26 soon. I need to get my own insurance. I've got to get some coverage, a real job. And so luckily for me, I landed a full-time position at Blue Cross Blue Shield as a marketing service representative. And in that position, I had to give a lot of different presentations to clients. So I needed to know a lot about insurance. And so that's when I became licensed. And I studied and I learned so much. And it was good that I learned that because I was able to present that information to my clients. And so during that time, like I said, I studied, I learned, I looked over all the different documentations. I was learning everything about Affordable Care Act and insurance just so I could be knowledgeable when I got up in front of my clients to present. So since then, as I said before, I'm now at a new company. I'm an insurance brokerage. So I like to say 3 presentation classes, 6 years of being licensed, 2 promotions, a new company, and 2 more promotions later. And here I am sharing this information with you guys. Why is this so important to me? Well, let me tell you, true story. This happened to me last week. Last week, I opened all of my medical bills, mine and my husband, my kids' medical bills, and I was reconciling the bills against my EOB, explanation of benefits for short, or EOB is the short word for explanation of benefits. I was reconciling against that, and I realized that it wasn't lining up. So I called Advocate, and I said, hey, can you guys help me figure this out? So I was on the phone with Advocate for over an hour, going through every single line and challenging everything that didn't line up with my explanation of benefits. And at the end of that conversation, turns out Advocate was going to charge me over $500 more than what I actually had to pay. Can you believe that? Over $500 more. So many people that I've given presentations to, so many of my clients have told me, I didn't know I was supposed to do that, and they go ahead and pay it. And guess what? the providers aren't going to give you that money back. And so it was that situation and so many more situations that I've seen either personally or in my experiences giving these kinds of presentations that made me go, wait a minute, I really want to share this information with other people because they may not know it either, and they could certainly benefit from it, and it could help them save money. And so that's where I am at today. My goal is to help people understand insurance, not just choosing what's the cheapest option, but finding the right plan that's going to benefit you and your family. And so anywho, I want to help you guys understand not just the basics of insurance, but also again, how to use it to save money. There's so many different options with the life policies and things like that that we'll get into later. So if you guys think these videos are benefiting you, then I could possibly expand, maybe do some live Q&A sessions, bring in some special guests. Only time will tell, but I am hoping that these videos become beneficial. In the next few weeks, we're going to be discussing, or over the next few weeks, I should say, we're going to be discussing major medical plan options. I'm going to start off with the basics, HMO, PPO, HSA, introduce some terms like copay, deductible, allowed amount, balance bill. Eventually, we'll get into subjects like open enrollment, waiting periods. I know I'm smiling. I'm an insurance nerd. This may sound like Spanish to you guys, but I promise you, if you stick with me, you'll learn something, and I hope at the end it'll prove to be beneficial for you guys. So we're going to end now. I don't know. I can't find a timer on this thing because I'm new to Facebook Live. I don't know if I'm over 5 minutes, but I promised you guys 5 minutes. So for everyone that is still with me, thank you. I'm going to give a pop quiz just because I want to, and I think it's fun. So anyway, here we go. Pop quiz. First person to answer this question correctly will get a surprise from me. Tell me what EOB stands for. You may not know what it means, and that'll be a later episode, but if you can tell me what EOB stands for, first person that gets it right will get a prize from me. So thank you guys for joining. Tell your friends, tell your family, join us next week. The archive videos will be posted on the YouTube link that's in the description here. So again, join me next week on Facebook Live, 8 p.m. Thursday, Central Standard Time, and we'll jump into the fun, wonderful world of HMO. Signing off. Have a great day. Thanks, guys.